Well, I was really afraid to go on this Ecuador trip, but at the same time, I was really excited. When I arrived there, I just felt so loved and just so at home.
All right, so let's just sing the first verse of Volamos.
When doing a trip like this, your senses of awareness are heightened, and you are vulnerable and receptive more than you normally would be.
¿Ya estamos? ¡Vamos! ¡Listos!
On this trip, it started when the plane began its descent into Quito. There was an unfamiliar yet exciting feeling of seeing new, green, lush land for the first time. A more global awareness started to unfold, as did a new perspective of culture and language. This service learning trip to Ecuador forces students to be in the present with their surroundings, which can be fleeting and short-lived. What we can do and transform in 1 week abroad is life-changing, and it is unbelievable how time and space can be so powerful. You come back a different person.
Yeah, you can believe in it or not.
We made breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Harina de maíz con agua, sal y mantequilla. Y no tienes que mezclarle hasta que lo tengas listo.
We explained everything, what the food was and everything in Spanish.
Mantequilla. Mantequilla. Higos. Y uvillas.
Bravo.
Bravo.
I love that one.
Before each meal and before we served ourselves, we held hands, we sang a song, and then we just kind of had a few minutes just to be there.
Ajá.
Sí.
Háblale en español. Hay arroz, hay un plato de vegetales y uno de pollo. Pueden escoger. Hay ensalada, hay aguacate. Y agüita y jugo. Por favor, cojan su plato, sírvanse, cuchara.
Gracias.
The ones that are really good are the darkest orange, you know, that you can find. This is kind of the perfect one. See how it's almost split a little bit too? That's a great one. And once we're here, you might as well just take off any stems. Yeah?
I believe our time in Ecuador, whether it was on the farm, at the school, or in our travels, helped cultivate in our students social and environmental awareness, a desire to contribute constructively to society, and instilled a sense of responsibility in and for the broader world.
NWAL's mission is to reinforce social and environmental responsibility. They've created an authentic and meaningful program. The Family Farm is a purposeful environment designed to engage students through service learning, lessons in permaculture, farm work, and social interactions with the diverse culture that is Ecuador.
You guys, you come to me. You come to me, we sterilize your jar, you go to Matias and you fill it with jam. And you guys are going to clean off the rim really, really well.
Both on the top and inside a little bit. No, put it upside down there for a few minutes.
One great thing about the program is that it's not a vacation, it's a real service learning program. The kids work hard from early in the morning till late at night, and everyone pitches in all the time. It's a very valuable experience for the kids.
So this grass is probably good for a whole week once it's all gathered together.
Oh, I can definitely get up. It's just a matter of if I can actually. Like right now!
Well done, guys!
In Ecuador, we had chores. One of the chores was milking. It was really cool. You got to wake up at 3:40 in the morning, head up to the barn at 4, and you helped with the people milking cows, like cleaning the udder and feeding them and putting them in the pasture. and it was pretty cool. I met a lot of new people, especially like people who worked at the farm, a lot of kids who helped.
Being away from technology for a week is kind of an amazing thing. It's really fun, and I really enjoyed the experience.
Not having electronics I thought was going to be really hard because I practically live with my phone in my hand, but I didn't miss it at all, and I just got to spend the time I would have spent on my phone or iPod with other people and interacting with other people, and I think that was a really good thing for me, and I've used it less since I've been back.
There were a lot of really impressive aspects of the experience for the kids. I was so happy to be able to meet the kids for the last day of the trip and get the big picture. They're not making it up as they go along. It's a really organized program. It's Croca associated. All the people who are there are qualified and really focused on giving the kids an important experience, and they did do that.
Okay, who's the most nervous?
Oh God, I'm so nervous.
This year, I initiated a pen pal program with the Pachamama School located outside of Quito. While we were in Ecuador, students had the opportunity to meet their pen pals and spend a night in their homes. TGS students also attended school for an afternoon at Pachamama. The students gained appreciation of their own families and confidence in their Spanish during this time. This experience was a way to apply their Spanish in a direct way with the world.
Is this your pen pal, Andres?
Yeah, Andres.
Okay. Dile hola, Andres.
Hola, Andres.
So, hey Colette, this is Isabella. I really wanted you to come, but we'll meet other time.
When I went to my pen pals, I was the most nervous for that than I've ever been for anything ever. But she was so nice, and her family was so nice, and it was just like the coolest thing to be in a different country and meet somebody my close to my own age and see what they do.
I liked that she and her sister were open with me.
Awesome. Another time we went on a hike. What they failed to mention was that we were not hiking up to the hot springs. In fact, we were hiking away from the hot springs. So we thought it was going to be a good 2 hours, but it ended up being a rather, I'd say 4-hour hike. It was at 13,000 feet, and it was just like soaking wet and drizzling, and it was pretty miserable conditions, but it was one of the funnest moments of the trip just because at the end, and we were all in pretty good spirits the whole time, but at the end we got to go to these hot springs, and they're so calming and amazing and warm. I took those clothes and sealed them tight inside a bag inside my backpack and opened them up outside at home just because I couldn't bear the stench of them.
I would definitely come back to Ecuador just because it's a place that has so many new people and new things and new foods and just new opportunities to try.
The most powerful moment for me personally among the many was on the last day of the trip as we hiked from the farm toward the airport. Guided by Matthias, we walked through the back roads on the outskirts of the village of Pifo. Here, during our last adventure, we experienced how many of the poorer native people lived. For myself and the students, this was a very sobering moment. It gave us a glimpse into a different world that many of us had never experienced. It also proved the value and importance of the Noel Farm as a provider of food and employment for many of these folks. I would be very disappointed if all of our 8th grade students did not have a chance to participate in this service learning project next year and well into the future. I, for one, will be returning to Ecuador to build upon this most profound and life-changing experience.
Love the earth, love the earth, love the sky, love the sky. Heat of fire, drop of water, I can feel it in my body, in my spirit, in my soul. Hey-ya, 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 ho. Hey-ya, 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 ho. Hey-ya, 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 hey-ya. tierra,
ama tierra,
ama cielo,
ama cielo,
calor del fuego,
calor del fuego,
gota de agua,
gota de agua.
yo lo siento en mi cuerpo, en mi espíritu, en mi alma. Heya, 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 oh. Heya, heya, heya.